Alright, welcome once again to this month's show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert. Also remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at Romy TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro. So my brother, so you say that you had started this.
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
Yeah.
Alright, welcome once again to this month's show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert. Also remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at Romy TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro. So my brother, so you say that you had started this.
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
Yeah.
Four, 3, 2, 1, 20 cards.
A very good morning once again from Romy TV Africa this morning. Remember, this is news making headlines. And on the set today, I am not alone, but I'm joined by my colleagues from our far left.
Thank you so much. Welcome to the show. My name is Emmanuel Onyango here at Romy TV Africa, and let's chat, let's talk, communicate to us. Tell us what are your views on today's discussions.
Also, we are joined by this beautiful lady who she's in our midst, and she is
Regina Mwangi. Welcome to the show.
Remember, this Romy TV Africa, where we bring you news that making headlines from Monday to Friday. Also, we bring you politics from Monday to Friday, showing us every time. There's numbers that we are passing down on our screens. You can just keep interacting with us. Tell us where you're watching us from. Keep sharing, keep watching, keep commenting. This morning on Tuesday, we have news that we are making headlines. But before we go to that news making headlines, I'm concerned of one of our fellow journalists that was shot dead on Sunday, 10 p.m. at Kajiado County, Magad Road. And I'm starting with that one from my colleagues. There is something that which has been happening around, and actually this is what has been trending. Yeah. One of the Pakistani investigative journalists was shot dead on Sunday, 10 p.m. And the news reaching to our newsroom is that it was a mistaken identity. But there's a lot of questions that which have been going across when we hear such a kind of news like a mistaken identity, of course, and we have heard that from Pakistan also was kind of escaping and his life was in danger. Is it that the government of Kenya has collided with the government of Pakistan, or with the people that come and put his life in danger to eliminate his life? Maybe Emmanuel.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
I don't think the Kenyan government has collided with the government of Pakistan in such a way that even the Prime Minister himself said that it was a mistake, but they are going to do investigations. They see the murder behind it, what happened, what the cause behind it actually. So we can't say that it has collided. The two countries have collided in a way because the Prime Minister also has spoken with the President, President William Samoei Ruto, to deal with this issue.
But you see, we cannot keep on continuing saying that maybe the investigation is going to take place, but already someone has died.
Yeah, true.
Okay, they are taking the investigation to see what actually came about, to see that led to the death of the journalist, Mr. Ashrad. And I think the Kenyan government is going to get deep into this and solve the matter so that it may not bring conflict between the two countries. To see that a foreigner just came in Kenya for a particular reason, because I remember when I read the story, it said that he came to Kenya for a training session, in shooting session. So when he was shot, that this is not going to be a big issue between the two countries.
Maybe just hold on there. I'm coming back to you. Maybe let's hear from Regina. Regina, you know, this case, we have heard that this journalist is actually an investigation journalist, and we have seen a number of investigative journalists being either killed or being trapped in many ways. And this is a case whereby that when he left his country, also the life was in danger. But according to the news that reaching our newsrooms, is that he was doing some. They were doing a number of shooting in this Kajiado County, but they actually had a very nice time. They enjoyed around, and then they were taking their back from the shooting to wherever they had booked to sleep. And here, before even they were able to reach where they were going, there were also another stolen car that which the police or the GSU were tracking and were following. Then the news coming is that like they mistaken is V8 KDD 200M to the KDJ car that which was actually tracked. His car was a V8, but we are not told that whether the other car is a V8 also like this one, and also what about the car? What do you think, Regina? Do you buy what the government is telling us, that it was a mistaken identity?
I'm one of the people who go with facts, so I can't really buy such a story, you know. I can just conclude. I have to question everything we're being told, because first the story is giving me a bit of mixed up signals, because at first they're saying he was shot, and then later on we are saying there's a post-mortem going on to check why he died. Now, already it was seen he was shot. Then why should they do a post-mortem? Another thing, he flew all the way from Pakistan. We don't know, there's a story that is saying he was running away from something. Maybe his life was in danger. And then we are saying he came here, then he was doing some shots. So what is specifically the purpose of him coming to Kenya? Plus, was he some kind of being trapped, or is it a mistaken identity as they're telling us? I have to be slightly stubborn on this, because I cannot really buy this, and I have to question everything they are saying, because they are not giving us facts. They are just giving us stories that are not even being understood.
Okay, just hold it there. Remember, we are live at Romy TV Africa this Tuesday. Stories making headlines. If you like the calling news making headlines, we are live on our Facebook page, also in our YouTube channel, also in TikTok at Romy TV Africa. You can follow me at Dr.Robert at Romy TV Africa. Maybe that was a very nice breaking. You can tell the viewers where they can find you on your social media platforms.
Follow me at ot_eno on Instagram and also on Twitter.
Regina?
Facebook, Instagram, Regina Samuel, and Twitter at Regina Samuel.
Welcome back once again. Remember, we are talking about the story of one of the investigative journalists from Pakistan that who was shot dead. It is it's a bad news actually to fraternity of journalists. However, we have seen a number of groups, a number of people that have come up to show at least that the interest of why journalists are being killed. The guild also come up and they gave their condolences, and they want that investigation to take place as fast as possible. Also Kuji, the Kenya Union of Journalists, we have come up, and also we must be concerned because we are among them And we cannot fear to go to that zone of investigating of matters taking place, issues, criminalism and all, because of the killings, of the judiciary killings we have been seeing before. We will be looking at that story, of course, again, of Iboa and SSU. But before we go there, I know there's a number of people that would like to know who is this Pakistan journalist, because many people have not known him, who he has been. By the way, this Pakistan journalist, Ashad Shari, is 49 years old and was shot dead by a TSU officer in Magad when he was 49 years old. He's a renowned investigative journalist, and also he started his work as a frontier, or as a, how do we call it? Because he was doing like it was a passion to him. That is in early 1990s. Of course, 1998 he was able to be employed by one of the Pakistan newspaper, where he worked to around 2010, and then he actually realized the ranks from one level to another until 2018. He was able to be awarded as the best investigative journalist, and 2019 and 2020. So he has been a known person. So he was a man that who was dedicated. But and again, this man, maybe some people may need to know where he got his passion from. His story is that he stayed with his father for so long, and his father was, GSU was in a Pakistan Defense Force. And he got an idea from to be an investigative journalist from his father on how Pakistan's people were being killed, on how things were happening there, and they saw that it's good to bring on daylight what has been happening. But of all what has been happening, Emmanuel, what have you learned from this Pakistan journalist? That
you can see that this Mr. the late Ashad was a well-known journalist. He was known by even the Prime Minister himself. He was even being given work to go and do some investigations when there are some things that are being done. And I can see that he was a very determined person in his work. He was passionate of what he was doing, and I see that he was being given a lot of protection because he was doing a very good work, doing some investigation for the government in Pakistan, whereby you see that even the government of Pakistan comes in and even asks for justice to be served for the family and also for the nation in general. Even the country in the world at large, in every country, they have sent their condolences because he is a well-known journalist, and through him we see that without passion you can't go far. You are a well-known person.
Regina,
Yes.
what is this that you have known? Because this is something that has been not known to us, but when this happened, he has gone globally. What is this that you have learned from this journalist?
I've learned he's someone who is passionate on what he does. He's someone who just gave himself voluntarily to serve the people of Pakistan. You know, by doing those private investigations about the Pakistan citizens, maybe who are here, maybe who are in other countries. I think he's just someone who devoted himself to work for his people and make sure his people are safe and every right of their people is taken care of. Plus, I think this death is not a mistaken identity, because according to the story, as I read, I can analyze, and I'm forced to believe that he's someone who carried a lot of secrets. He's someone who carried a lot of deep stories about other people, and maybe that is why his death was abrupt, to make sure whatever he knew is protected and kept safe instead of being revealed out.
Okay, Emmanuel.
Before even I talk about the late Mr. Ashad, this murder of Mr. Ashad has brought an attention in such a way that why is it that when he came to Kenya, he was shot dead? You know, Kenya has a lot of secrets. Things that run in my mind right now is that maybe it's not a mistaken identity. They just did not want.
Something that when he was shooting or doing, they were doing the shooting. Maybe there's something they were about to bring.
Exactly, that's what it's my mind right now. So maybe the National Police Service did not want to be their secrets to be revealed, what they are doing in the background.
You know, you remind me something. Like now, there is a group which was disbanded by the president of the world company, that's Dr. Samuel Ruto, of that which was created by the DCI or IPOA, and there's another cases that which are ongoing of the Indian and the Kenyan tax driver, the Indians that go were also murdered, and some they are not known where they went. And this is the time that those cases have been going on, and this is the time that he has been killed, and this is the time that he was doing his shooting. We don't know exactly that what they were investigating, what they were doing exactly. Do you think that also this can be the cause, or can be the reason why?
Let me say, maybe it can be the reason. I guess so, because you don't know about Kenyans. Mostly, they do mostly the National Police Service do the investigation secretly. They don't want to involve the country or the people.
Other countries.
So maybe when maybe a foreigner comes and he wants to be involved in such situations, even the government will have to intervene, and maybe they'll do something just to keep the secret of this nation.
Okay. Regina, as we move to the next stories making headlines.
Basically, I think Mr. Ashad Sharif and maybe many other those Indians that were killed. I think it's a call for our government to make sure that we are not living with the same stories each and every day. Because as much as we are having these killings, and you see now these are people who are not even from our country. Which name will Kenya have in other countries out there? Will we be a really good name, or we will be an outcast based on what things are occurring here? Because I think the government should look at our name, look at how other people are going to carry us out there, because these are not Kenyans, they are foreigners who come here, and then this calls now for insecurity in Kenya, because that is how it is. There is insecurities. So people coming here will be like a risk to them. So I think the government should just be serious on this case of security, and at least for once we can stop, living the same story each and every day.
All right, we are at Romy TV Africa this morning on Tuesday, bringing you news that we're making headlines across the Grow Party. And moving to the next story will be read by Emmanuel Onyango, the IPOA.
Now, the IPOA accuses the SSU for secret operations, and according to IPOA, there are investigations that are being done, and there are some cases like the River Yala bodies, which are 25 bodies found in River Yala, River Tana, whereby 13 bodies were being found, the Turkana East killings, 11 bodies, and 2 foreigners, and also enforced disappearance, which are 112. And these cases involve reported police misconduct. The IPOA wants to take over into the de facto of the DCI unit into the River Yala killings, whereby you can see the River Yala killings. It's reported that there were 12 head injuries, stomach and chest injuries were 2, head and chest injuries were 1, and also the strangulations were 2. So the police oversight body say it is probing over 100 cases at the moment, and the cases are said that many bodies are found, and not the bodies that were found at River Yala are not from that area. So I guess the IPO is doing a very good job. They just want to see that justice is being undertaken. If they get into this matter, they want to be involved into this matter, so that they can see that the people find the people get their justice, and not just like the normal what the National Police Service or the DCI are doing at the moment. So if I can urge the IPOA, the work that they're doing, let them continue doing what they're doing, because we want justice by the end of the day. And according to me, that's what I want. Unless you have any other thing you have to say about the IPOA.
I think one of the questions that which I'm asking myself this morning is that what is this difference between the SSU, the IPOA, the DCI? Because I believe that they should be working as a team.
Yeah,
and when we hear from the government that they are investigating those officers, already 3 of them, they have been in custody. Is it 3?
Yeah.
That who were in the same. Is it that the government is divided? That's another question that which is coming to my mind. Because if the government is not divided, then why they are not on the same pace? Because you hear that there's a group that has been killing people, and not only those the Indians and the taxi drivers with the 25 bodies that which were found at River Yara, and many people have been disappearing. And now, what is the next move? That's another question that we are asking as Kenyans. And what is the really work for IPOA? This morning I was listening with, from one of another national TV. They were talking about the IPOA has not been funded well, and as much as we need to have the evidence of cases that which have been taking place, and we need to get the justice to people that whom have been killed. We have seen a number of judiciary killing in the past 5 to 10 years. In the government of the former president Uhuru Kenyatta and the former deputy president William Samoei Ruto, now is the president of the Republic of Kenya. What is this new that which is going to do? Is it the right way that we has taken for that unit to be disbanded? What does it mean? Are we going again to miss these people that whom have been in this unit? Because if it's going to be disbanded, where are they going to go? Are going to be observed with other groups like IPOA, like DCI, and other departments like the National Police Unit? All are going to be forced to retire earlier. And if they're going to be forced to retire earlier, or some are going to be summoned, like the cases we're hearing, the evidence which is needed from them, where are they going to go? Are we going to have more criminals than before? Because the number of criminals that we have right now, there are those people that have been in the police forces or in the forces in Kenya. After the government has maybe trained them, used resources, everything, then they throw them out of the governmental jobs. They go and come back on their own coups, whereby they're actually doing all those criminals. Those are one of the questions that which are landing in my head, and that's what we need to hear from the president to come out himself and tell us what exactly he's planning, because we have not heard from him talking, but we need to hear that. Maybe back to Regina to hear from her.
For me, I think the IPOA and the SSU, and then we have the DCI. I think those are just one and the same team. There are people who are there for security. There are people who are there for these cases. So I think there shouldn't be this difference of levels or groups. I think they should just work together. They come together as a team and work for Kenya. Plus, we can't always speak of the same issues each and every time. So I think the president, the current president, Mr. William Ruto, should bring change. He promised change, and that is the change we want to see. Because we cannot be talking about these killings each and every time, and this is our people who are being killed and then thrown into these rivers, which is even so unhealthy, because I believe there are still people who even use that water. Plus, I wonder why someone should be killed and then thrown to a river. These are issues that need to be taken seriously. Yeah.
Now, we can say that the IPOA, when you say that they have not been funded well, I can agree with it, because you can see that these IPOA, they have been fighting for people's rights for a very long time. And even the chairman the CEO of IPOA was saying that he wants this issue to be undertaken by them. They don't want the secret issues that are being done by the police. They are not taking it seriously, because if they were doing it seriously, they could be informing people of what what is being done. The IPOA say they see that this police service, they do it secretly and slowly. They don't give out information fast as it's being required, compared to them that they want the justice to be done fast and quick, so that everything should just go back to normal and help those people who have been affected. Yeah.
Okay. Remember, this is Romi TV Africa. We are bringing you Tuesday news making headlines, locally and internationally. We're moving to our third story of the Kiambu murder probe, and we'll be taken through by Regina.
Kiambu murder probe. Kiambu politician Gladys Chania, who was accused in the murder of her husband, has been freed by the court after being granted 1 M shillings cash bail by the court pending conclusion of the case. The police were given 7 days to check into the case, sought more time, and therefore granted an addition of 7 more days to conclude the investigation. Now first, before we even analyze it, you remember the story of this woman, where she killed the husband and then was calling the house girl to go and,
to help her to dump the body.
To package the body, and she was saying, according to the story, that you come and help me, we package this mzigo. She was saying mzigo. So I think, and now we see her out with a bail. I think this is something so unfair to the country and even to the family of this man who was killed, because as much as, she's a prominent woman, she's someone we believe she has money, and because of that money now she's out. We cannot always have crimes going on with people who are capable in the society, and then now because of their money they are out.
And I think that one brings to the point that if your money will be paying you out, whether you have done wrong or right. But do you think that is the case that we have
Actually,
facing in Kenya?
Case. Yeah,
it's the case, and it's so unfair.
Yeah, because you see, it's the rich that they benefit.
Yeah,
because their money can defend them. We have seen people who stole cuckoo, people who stole.
They end up in jail for almost even 5 years.
Even 10 years.
Yeah,
and whereby, if I remember, I was listening to the case of the member of parliament for this was jailed for 67 years. And he was saying that when he was inside there, how things were, and they found some people who were fined 500 shillings and still they are in jail. Some 1,000, some 5,000, and he was able to bail out like 10 or 15 of them, because when he was looking at what they did to be jailed, something very retro.
It's not, actually Kenya is not all about justice. And that thing I keep on talking about it each and every single time we're here. I don't think there is justice in Kenya whereby the poor are being mishandled. As long as you have money, you can be treated so well. Because this is a
have your way out.
This is a murder case. A murder case whereby you just bail someone out, even for 1 million Kenya shillings.
And for a murder case, I don't think whether this person should be out, should be in. Whether it should be put like for murder case and all those cases, so long as they have been examined and some evidence is there, should not be having any poll. Should be actually no bond at all. You remain inside.
They are dangerous to the society.
Now look at this. The court has given the police to deal with, to look into the matter for 7 more days. For those 7 more days, they ended up freeing Miss Gladys to go out there for 1 million Kenya shillings. Why don't they just keep her
and eventually make out evidences that could have been used against her,
because
even to bribe other people that could have come up and say, this was this and this, you will be able to bribe them.
Now my question is, what if the police do the investigation and they find her guilty again?
But to me, I'm
she's guilty.
She's already guilty.
But she's freed. She's freed.
But now I'm thinking that when you normally hear that they have been given like a week or 2 weeks or 21 days for investigation, this is a way of getting your way out from
Exactly.
court, from police, from prison. These are the steps which have been made by the government of giving you a way out. Because for a poor person, you will never hear that they have been given. You hear they say that they have given 21 days for investigation, but the person remains in jail.
Exactly.
But with the rich, they have given 1 week or 2 weeks or 21 days for investigation, but the person is free.
Yeah.
That is the case that you're looking. What do you think where you're watching us from? You can send us SMS, WhatsApp, and call. You can give a call direct, and we're here to receive your call and hear what you are saying. What is your talk this morning, and also you can keep chatting us.
In addition, Kenya, for now, because she's a politician, and we can see that many politicians nowadays are being in so many cases of murder, whereby they just go free, and you will see that when she's just going out like this, she's not going to come back again in jail, because this is a way just to find her way out. Because how many cases have gone out there? You see that these politicians have killed someone, they are being bailed out for a certain amount, then the cases just go away,
and you will never hear.
You'll never hear about it again. For example, the MP of Kimilili,
Didmas Baraza. Now, where is his case?
The case is silent,
and somebody died.
And he's free.
And was fired. And Didmas Baraza is free, moving everywhere. So I think
no justice
I think Kenya has no justice, and people are not getting justice. A number of people in jail, they actually are in jail for what they never did, and the people that Guma have done wrong, they are out. Look at the case of is it Opado? It's out now, and there's no more case. So what are we expecting next? I think we are moving to the next story. Remember, this Romy TV Africa bringing you news that making airlines this morning at Romy TV Africa. You can just tweet us at Romy TV Africa. Keep sending your comments where you're watching us from. We will be reading your comments this morning. Moving to the next story is the story of Samburu. But Emmanuel,
yes,
what's happening in Samburu?
This story, the tension in Samburu is that it was a herder who was going to take his cattle to the market for selling, and he was attacked by bandits, whereby all his livestock was stolen. It was goats and camel, and this is seeing that even the people, the locals in Samburu East, were they pointed fingers to the National Police Service, saying that they are not doing their work. They are living in fear at the moment, because people the criminals come and steal their cattle, and this does not look good for the National Police Service, because it's seen that no work is being done at the moment there.
It's like police have slept on their jobs. But there's also something that the president of the Kenya, that's William Samoei Ruto, was talking in Kitui concerning, there was a complaint between the community, the Far East. They were talking about people's, is it, how do we call Ngamia, where they are brought to people's shambas and they destroy their foods. Even this time they have not planted any food. And actually at the same time they were complaining that when community came out and were trying to complain, there's a woman, is it a woman that was killed?
Yeah.
And the other people. And now the president was saying that this is a small work where someone has died. He said that the commissioners, assistant commissioners, that's their work. They have given them money to do their work. This is not something that they're expecting to say that the president should be there, the deputy president and the minister. Actually, it was specifically that this is not the time that they need the CS to be there. This is a small work that it should be done. What's your thought on that, Regina?
I think I remember that time when Mr. President was announced by the ABC chairman, president. That very day, I remember in that Bomas of Kenya, when he was giving his speech after being announced as the leading president, as the president-elect. I remember him talking about cattle rustling, and
that will be the news of the past.
Yeah, and I remember the way he spoke with confidence and assuring the people that that is something that will be buried in the bucket. It is something that will be something of the past. But now we are seeing these cases each and every day. No, I'm wondering, is this promise going to be fulfilled?
Is that was PL? You know, sometimes we are taking like what the politicians which are doing are being the PL just for entertainment, because what they have been promising us, we have not seen it happening.
Yeah.
It's everyday lies.
They keep lying to us. So
Promises, yeah.
I don't know if we should give him time, or maybe we should
But
just
for where
assume.
people are dying, you know, there's a number of things that we can give time, like economy and other
Exactly,
things.
yeah,
But
yeah.
those are the like where people have been killed, ketro, lesson and all. We cannot say that we give time. Giving time means more people die.
Yeah.
True.
And you see that those people are suffering at the moment. They are living in fear because they see that their animals will be stolen, their livestock will be stolen. You can't say that you live in Samburu and you just staying peacefully with your cattle. You wake up in the morning, you'll find your full livestock there, because you wake up, you find they were stolen. You don't have any livestock left. And this brings to attention that the government of Kenya has a lot to do in controlling livestock rustling. And this the Kenyan government at the moment, Mr. President, has to see into this matter. As just he was speaking about it, he said that it's going to be a matter of the past. Now let's see that is going to be a matter of the past. Let's not see that the people from Samburu, the people from Garissa are suffering because of cattle rustling.
All right, we have been talking about what has been happening, but of bad news. But at this time, we have good news to East Africa. East Africa has good news once again.
Yeah, we can see
The
that.
UK incoming Prime Minister. News coming to our newsroom is that East Africa of Kenya and Tanzania.
The father is from Kenya and the mother is from Tanzania.
Can we need to hear that?
Now he's called Rishi Sunak. He's a British, half British Asian, but the father is from Kenya and the mother is from Tanzania. He was appointed as the Prime Minister. He was appointed as the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. He's taking over from Liz Truss, where he resigned like 2 weeks ago, a week ago, I guess. And this is going to bring a lot of change, because now the Kenya and the Tanzanian government, the people of Kenya and Tanzania, are going to feel like now we have the opportunity to go out there and rule other people. For example, the former president of United States of America, Mr. Barack Obama, was from Kenya. He went and led the United States. Now we have a fellow East African member who is leading now the UK government. Now the problem is now he's going to suffer to take over is about the economy in the UK, whereby yes, I know he was a former finance officer in UK, but now the country is suffering an inflation of 40 years of economy. Now he has a lot of work to do, to consider, and if you see that he was once defeated, he was defeated in fact by Liz Truss before getting this work. But let's see what he's going to do about this. Yeah.
I think, what's your take on that, Regina?
My take is so positive on that. Congratulations to Rishi Sunak. But now mostly I'm gonna focus on Liz Truss, who we have seen she's the shortest serving occupant in office. You know, she was only in office for 44 days. And I think this is something Kenyan leaders should learn from. You know, when you feel you're in the position that you cannot really serve the people as you sweared in, as it's allowed by the constitution, then why don't you just resign and leave it to someone who can do the job? But we see a lot of our leaders, they don't even have the qualities. Maybe they got there by luck, maybe by accident. They don't have the qualities to
All
lead.
because of how connected you are.
True. But we look at them, they don't really have the serving skills, they don't have the leadership skills, but they can't resign because of greed of the money they get
And the
from
greed
that
of
position.
power.
Yeah, true. They can't allow, I think they're so selfish. But we see Liz Truss, even she was saying that I've seen and I've come to conclusion and made peace with the fact that I cannot serve the people as I am supposed to. And so I wish to resign. I think that is some confidence Kenyan leaders should borrow from, because they should borrow this and stop being selfish. You know, you have greed for power, but you cannot lead the people how you're supposed to lead them.
Because what you have is power. Maybe, Emmanuel, you know, sometimes when people rise on ranks to be where they are today, many people may not know the story of Zunak, where he has become from, and to be now the incoming UK Prime Minister. What's your take on that?
He fought hard for that position, and he's an economist. Let me just say he's an economist, because
so that means, do we expect that the economy
of UK is going to change and it's going to revive, because he was a former finance officer, and this is going to change the economy of UK, and we are proud to see that. We can say he's one of our own, because he has an origin from Kenya also. So the economy is going to be so well there. I'm expecting it to be so well, so that he can lead the people of UK so well.
And also Rishi Sunak is a good example. I'm proud of him, because he shows us that any child is allowed to dream. Any person, no matter the background, no matter the story, no matter the chaos and the scars of life,
and where you're coming from,
you are allowed to dream, and at some point you are allowed to be the best of all.
All right. We are going for a short break, guys, but when we come back, we shall be talking on the newspaper today in Kenya, what is trending today. But as for now, we are going for a short break, but just keep commenting, tell us, SMS, tell us where you're watching us from. As you watch, and you can also tweet at Romy TV Africa. For us in our social media platforms at Romy TV Africa. Going for a short break. After the short break, we are coming back. Newspaper review in Kenya. Alright, welcome once again to Desmond's show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert. Also remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at Romy TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro.
Yes. So my brother, so you say that you had started this.
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
Yeah.
Alright, welcome once again to Desmond's show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert. Also remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at Romy TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro.
Yes. So my brother, so you say that you had started this.
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
Yeah.
Alright, welcome once again to Desmond's show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert. Also remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at Romy TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro.
Yes. So my brother, so you say that you had started this.
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
Yeah.
Welcome back, dear viewer, to Romy TV Africa, whereby you get your your daily news and your newspaper review this morning on Tuesday, 24th of October. And today we have some newspaper review we have to discuss about, and our first stories here at Romy TV Africa is the 5 cabinet nominees divide committee. The suitability of 4 Ruto's cabinet has divided the committee of the National Assembly that vetted them last week, as it rushes against time to table its report by Thursday. Members of the House Committee on Appointment from the Azimio la Umoja, One Kenya side, are uncomfortable with the former Meru Senator Mithika Linturi, who is the nominee for Agriculture, Ms. Penina Malonza, Tourism, Zakaria Njeru, Lands, and former Malindi MP Aisha Jumwa, Public Service. Now, our first story today on the Daily Nation, we see that there's a 5 cabinet committees, nominees who are divided in the committee, and it said that these people are not comfortable from the Azimio Kenya Alliance. They are not comfortable with the choosing of Linturi, yeah, and Penina, whereby they don't seem to be suitable for their work that they are being chosen for. What is your take on that?
I think my take which I could like to give, they have the reason, not because of political maybe parties, because those who are the team was selected to do the right thing for the common mwananchi, and we don't want to go to select someone because he's from a party, because he's from which party. But when they talk about like they're not comfortable of Rinturi Mitika and also Penina and Aisha Chumwa, they're right, because we have seen that Aisha had a case in court, and we have seen that how it has been someone died through his whether it's the bodyguard killed that, whether it's his bodyguard or whoever, but the case was on our hands. And we have seen it in Mituri even when he was asked a number of certificates, like the degree from India, was able to say that I'm not able to assess it because I have cases in court and they're in the house, and we saw the speaker helping him saying that the question that you were asking is either to answer yes, you have it here, or no, I don't have it here. But that is not the case, and that cannot be justified, because by telling us because you are prepared not to get to your house and have documents, if you are coming for a job maybe at Romy TV Africa and you are telling us that you don't have the papers that which I needed because you have a case that bears you from getting to your house, that tells us that you are not fit for that job because you don't have what it requires. And now on which basis that they are going to approve his nominee of cabinet minister for agriculture, because if they go ahead and get him to the position, that means Kenyans were in trouble, because we're giving someone that who has no full potential and power to govern us, especially the position of agricultural minister, and we know that is one of the biggest docket in our country, especially like these 2 last terms that we have not been having enough food, and because due to climate change. Aisha Chum also, people have been like, this already got D minus, of course, as much as the grade might not determine your readership, because it depends on how you're going to take things and which perspective, but at the same time, we are seeing that she's not indeed in a position to do a number of things. There are many people that Kenya Kwanza could have appointed who are in a position, they have what is required. But because of the political goodwill that they did to the president, and I think that's why they were brought in. This might take that they are right, and they should not be approved of the position that which they are appointed, because with some small factors, you don't assume that that's a small issue. That small issue is what contributes to bigger issues, and it is going to give us a big challenge in Kenya. Yeah, that's what I can say.
Ms. Regina?
I think them being called not suitable, it's a good term, because it's true they're not suitable. And as much as they are Ruto's allies, then we have to consider some things. We have to consider the people of Kenya, because basically they're not going to serve the president, they're going to serve the people of Kenya. And we have seen their cases, we have seen their journeys, we have seen their stories, and there are people who are not in a position to lead us. Because first, we all make mistakes, but some mistakes are worse to be entrusted by people. So I think somebody like Mithurili Ntiki, actually that is my main target. He's not even a bit suitable for that position.
Sure, that's
that
true.
guy is surrounded with a lot of scandals. You know, he has a lot of
32
lies.
cases on that one?
Fake degrees, fake degrees. We have rape cases, attempts. I think he's not a man who should lead the people.
That's very true.
Aisha Juma, the same, you know, as much as even leadership is not based on academic performance, we see she's still not in
And promising us that it's going to change, not to be in the right line of
Exactly.
what he has been talking, the negativity and all. That one does not guarantee us, because you can promise heaven for having something.
Yeah.
That one does not guarantee us
You
that
know
she's going
what
to
she
change.
also said when she was being she's being vetted. She has never seen a pistol in her or ever.
But
She
you
has
see,
never hold it.
those are the kind of lies that we don't need to have it, because how can you say you have a bodyguard, you have been a member of parliament? How can you say that you have never seen a pistol or a K-47 and your security has it? That one does not make sense to
She
common
even
mind.
ended up crying. Were those fake tears, or were they really even really?
I think those are just crocodile tears to fool the people.
Yeah. Well, talk to us, dear viewer. Talk to us. Tell us what are your views on this matter of the 5 cabinet nominees who are not suitable for their work, and we shall read them, and we see how we are going to help these fellow Kenyans. And in another stories, we just talked about it before, was about the death of the journalist, which the story is worldwide at the moment. And it said that he adds up in the Kenyan list of high-profile murderers, whereby we see that there's two Indian nationals, Zulfikar Ahmad Khan and Mohammed Zaid Sami Kidiwa, who are kidnapped in Nairobi, and whose whereabouts have not been found and have not been known since June this year. And do you think this is a situation in Kenya that is going to destroy the reputation of Kenya?
I think the reputation of Kenya is becoming worse than expected, because we cannot allow people to be disappearing, and there's nothing that is done by the government. We have the IPOA, we have the SSU, we have all the units of forces in Kenya that they should move with speed and ensure that Kenyans are getting justice, and wherever people are coming from, like these guys from India, like now from Pakistan, at least we have a clear information that what has been taking place, and if somebody that was killed or disappeared, what was the case, and maybe that there were somebody that they were not in good terms, did the person have some threats? Those are the kind of things. You know, this reminds me and takes me back to the case of JJ Juma, Jacob Juma, and how he was killed, and they had even on his Twitter retweeted, or now his life was in danger, and how he actually his killing was planned, and nobody took a step. Like Kenyan government should be take this matter serious, because, like, for instance, if they could have taken serious steps in JJ, I think it could not be day to day. And what we mean, not that we're going back to stories or we're going back to what happened, but those are one of the examples that we need to look from, that the government of Kenya is sleeping in its job, especially the forces, the department that which has been appointed for such, like SSU, like the IPOA, like the DCI department, and I don't know which kind of job they are doing specifically not to do this job, because you see that the government is not investigating itself. Because like this morning I heard from another national TV, like how comes that the government is investigating itself, because they are investigating, like the 3 guys who were actually the other day, I think they are investigated, and already they are in for it, they are in prison. So we need the government to come out clearly and tell us exactly that what is happening.
Ms. Regina?
I think it's also the same. I'll just second what you said. They should just make sure that these investigations are real. No propaganda is made. No things are created in the background. I think they should just come in the limelight and tell us what really happened and assure Kenyans in an action manner that it will not happen again.
Now the Indians have complained and said that they said that their driver was taken to the forest. The driver of the two Indians, was taken to the forest and he was killed. That's what the investigations say. And if these two people are not, the two Indians were not killed, it was a matter of when were they. It seems that they were being targeted.
You know, there is a lot of questions that which are emerging from the case of these two Indians. Okay, according to the affidavit that which were filed at the Kahawa law courts yesterday, it details that our two Indians and their Kenyan driver were trailed, abducted and killed inside Abadea's forest by four-man squad from the now disbanded SSSU. One of the questions that which we need to know, who were these Indians? Number two, they were the residents of Kenya or they were the visitors. Number three, who was this driver? Number four, why they could have been killed? Number five, are they killed, are they alive, or where did they disappear to? Those are the questions that we need to ask ourselves as Kenyans and as the government. And this is something that the government should not be taking a joke on it. They should move very fast to clear the name of our government, because now it's going to be like we're killing the international guests that who are coming to our nation, whether they're the residents, whether they are the visitors, this is, or whether they are the tourists. Those are one of the things that which we need to know.
We can see that the SSU has been talked so much, and it has been disburdened by the president. It seems that this special service unit in the DCI are not doing a very good job, because the four men from the SSU were the ones who are said to have killed they killed these Indians. So I think that the Kenyans at the moment, I agree with the president for disbanding the SSU unit, because I think they are not doing a good job.
What I'm thinking, not about doing the good job, but because the president of the Republic of Kenya, the William Samoei Ruto, he has been the deputy of the Republic of Kenya, and is among the team that which actually created the SSU group. And the purpose of creating this group were like, because the law of Kenya does not allow killing, maybe if someone has been found guilty, we don't have a law this person to be killed, but to be jailed. And they came up like, because we have a number of people that even if they are jailed, these are bad people. That's how they have branded them. Of course, we have these human rights groups and all. They cannot allow those to call them bad people and to be killed. But when you look at it, this group actually was purposely created that to abduct people, to kill them. Like Muslim and Somalians have been complaining of their brothers and sisters that Guma have been disappearing, like from Coast region also disappearing. In a minute, somebody is being released from prison or from jail, but this person cannot go back to their home, because they're saying that if I go home, my life is in danger still, that I will be either killed or abducted and taken to a place that which I'm not aware of. So I rather remain in jail. And that brings me, maybe my colleague here will help me to understand that, Regina. What do you think? We saw a case that one of the men that was released from police, from jail, and was saying that from here, is it Kamiti?
Yeah.
And was saying that he can't go home because his life is in danger. What's your take on that?
My take on that, first, you're saying that Mr. President was the deputy president before, then was part of the
and he has the information
that made the SSAU. But again, to back him up on that area, Yes, he was part of that he created, but it reached a point he was not in the position of power or in the position to say anything. So we cannot blame him for that. But I think right now, because he has the power,
and he has realized what has been happening. That's why he's disbanding that department.
Yeah, he should like stand there for Kenyans. You know, you cannot just keep making promises and the people really trusted you and voted for you, and then here you are, you're not in a position to protect them.
Okay.
Now, dear viewer, have you ever been so happy in your life at the moment as you're living in Kenya? We can see that the stories that are being talked about is that Finland has been ranked as the most happiest country in the world, and many people in Finland live happily compared to other nations. Are you happy first here in Kenya?
No, in Kenya we are not happy, but it's only that you need to have your own happiness. You create the happiness within you, with the small that which you have, because with the economy, with what's happening, with the killings, with the hiking of the prices, cannot allow you to be happy.
Yeah. Miss Regina, are you happy?
I can also say like him also.
Because sometimes the government can be happy, but not as an individual.
Yeah, the government is happy, but for me, I don't stand in any position to be happy because it's particularly not benefiting me in any way.
Because
so happiness is created on yourself. So if other people are happy, doesn't mean I have to be happy because they're happy.
And I think there's something, because when we were looking at the ranking, Kenya was ranked 119 out of 149. That means Kenya is the most unhappy country in the world.
Yeah, you can say it's unhappy because people are living in fear at the moment, whereby you see that people are suffering, people are just there. We can say, in fact, even this favorism, in fact, for me, because how can they say that Kenya is being ranked at 119 happily, and yes, people are suffering at the moment. Not many people are happy. We can say the people who are being counted there is maybe children who are happy at the moment.
Maybe. Maybe.
So I think it's a lesson learned that if you want to be happy, just follow Finland's footsteps and we shall be happy. Do you mind taking us to another stories, please?
Maybe moving to the next story is about Moyare man, 95, gets ID for the first time ever, hoping to others. You know, that's one of the very frustrating life that this man has been living all throughout his life, up to 95 years to get the national ID. Looking at the case of one of the small tribes which was created in Coast region that have been living without the national ID. But I remember during the second term of His Excellency, the former President of the Republic of Kenya, and the Prime Minister, they were able to give that small tribe which added us to be 43 an opportunity to have the national IDs. But now, looking at this case of this man who is 95 years getting a national ID, Mzee Somo, I was among the first Kenyans who served at the King African Lift KAL and lowered the Black Jack when Kenya attained the independence. He was unable to obtain a national identity card until 2 weeks ago due to bureaucratics and dissemination of the Sakuya community. You know, Sakuya community has been left out. Imagine someone was among the people that brought the independence of the country, and then you are left out of the benefits that the country has been getting, that you cannot get a job, you cannot be employed by anybody, you are not recognized, you are not even among the Shuja. I can feel, Regina, how can that leave you? Where does that leave you? Imagining maybe that was your grandfather, that was your brother. Where does it leave you?
No, I'm wondering at 95 years of age, what the ID is going to benefit him with. Because all those years he has survived without it. And at 95, I don't see the point of him having an ID. But it's so unfair to him because he's one of the people who fought for the KAR, the Kenya Rifle Affairs. And I think it's unfair because we have seen so many communities being isolated just because they are so remote and so primitive. Not really included in the urban affairs. I think it's unfair to this man and at 95, that is when somebody's really getting an ID. Kenya should be serious.
Wow. Next to our next story, remember guys, we are at Romy TV Africa. You can keep tweeting us at Romy TV Africa, keep commenting, tell us where you're watching us from in all our social media platforms, in Facebook page, YouTube channel, TikTok. We are live this morning of Tuesday. Coming to the next story, we are talking about the Meru governor, Mwangaza. What is taking, what's happening in Meru County?
Mwangaza is bringing darkness all over.
I'm telling you, you know, this lady, she came actually like an independent candidate, and I think she joined William Samoei Ruto. Maybe if our media, our team can show us the viewer, this woman. Some maybe don't know. You know what was happening is that yesterday she came out and she was saying that how can a WhatsApp group make you to go to AICC? You see, to her, actually, the case that which was in ICC is about appointing his husband as the in charge of tourists.
Not only that, and also
and involving his husband to be in every sitting.
Even
and
the sisters,
the two sisters actually gave them the jobs
as bodyguards. In fact,
as bodyguards. And now the question was that does it that she doesn't believe on the other security that which she has been given, so she has the sisters. Maybe I'm thinking that the sister want to be serving food and want to be observing and all. And another thing, you know, there has been a complaint about the WhatsApp group that which she created for legislative of administration, and that she wake up one day and removed all the MCAs.
And is the administrator, in fact.
And
but something funny is that since she got that seat,
she has become arrogant.
There's never been peace between her and the MCS of Meru, because you remember even when we saw just a few days ago, the MCS did not want her at the parliament. They kept on fighting. They kept on singing songs with her about her against her, in fact. So I don't think they are going far.
Do we mean that very soon the photo of no confidence is going to take place in the Meru County? We're expecting a new governor?
We're expecting a new governor
because it's the very shortest time that she has already the case at PICC. You see, Regina, that's one of the things maybe I want to hear from you. We have seen women in leadership and they are doing very well. But with her cases, you know, number one, she brought, yes, of course, I understand as men. Maybe your wife becomes, if you are the governor, your wife, the president, your wife becomes the first lady. But even the president himself has not been making Mama country, Mama Taifa, to be that. It's only that with what she has been doing and all is what makes her appear. But now, like to her, she was presenting to her his husband, like in front of us we have these and these and these. You know, like we have certain pastors go when before they preach, they bring their wife, they just pamper them, they do what? Good. By the time you're getting to the word, you are already poured, I'm telling you. But now what she's doing is like she appointed his husband, but she said that it's for free. But do you think it's for free?
I don't think it's for free.
Do you think that his husband, as she said, that he will be there in that department of tourists, and he has been appointed without salary, and number two, the husband has been in every sitting. Does it mean that she doesn't get any sitting allowance, or is only that she eliminated the salary but these sitting as allowances are there? What's your take on that, on Regina?
I think it's a lie, because where we stand as Kenya and as an economy and as an individual, as much as someone is my husband or wife, I cannot be in a position or in an office without salary. So I think that is a lie, just fooling the people. And for the first time, I'm not going to support a woman. Mwangaza, I think that name even should not suit her. She's supposed to be called darkness, because she's a rebel. She doesn't want to she doesn't want to cooperate with the juniors.
With the juniors. She's seen herself superior.
You know, since she got this seat, man, it's not your ability or your strength that put you in that position. It's people who chose you. So I think you should just lower yourself, humble yourself, and work with these men. Because last time we saw them threatening her that they will impeach her.
Yeah.
And I think that is where she's now headed to.
Actually, that's the next
Because
step.
I think the MCAs are going to impeach her, of which I pray she be impeached.
Yeah.
Because she's, you know,
She's
the
becoming
people of
arrogant.
yeah,
You see,
she's
I saw
becoming
in the county, almost all the MCs moved out. Can you imagine? She had a function on the Mashujaa Day, and only one MCA
Attended.
that was in attendance. That was not actually.
It's not supposed to be.
That one, I think, because now he has come. You know, one of the that's why we normally talk about the leadership, and we talk about the mentorship. We talk about, you see, like, because she became as independent. Of course, as much as she said that she will be working with the president, William Samoei Ruto. I think if she could have come up with a party, the party leader could have called her and sat down with her and tell her that leadership is not about the arrogance, leadership is not about the power, leadership is about working and accommodating other people. I personally had yesterday in a clip that when she was moving around, she was saying that she was taken in court because of the WhatsApp group, that she decided to move them, that if you feel that you are not comfortable there, you can left. But another question that she did not approach is about the two sisters. She did not talk about that, and she did not also talk about his husband in that position. Is it the man that they should be working with his husband? Is it the man that we should be bringing our wives in the place of work and our husbands to, like, okay, they're doing for free?
I think
Does they not have something that they can do?
She's taking us back to the story of dynasties.
Yeah.
Because once you're in a position, this is not about family things.
Yes,
And
she's
it's
broken
being
a rule
unfair.
of
The rule of law.
You know, without any favoritism,
yeah.
without, you know, this is favoritism.
And actually, because with Wanga, when they were talking about Gladys Wanga, that also she was able to appoint, not from the family, but she added up to 10. She is supposed to appoint, is it 2 or 3? The position that which was created by the county government. But Wanga, she was saying that she did according to, they had sat and agreed, but the other team came out and said that they did not agree. But of course, we have been seeing the fight that which has been going through in Kisumu. When the Prime Minister, Raila Amolo Odinga, went there, you saw that even the MCAs were not able to come up, as much as that most of the number of them, they were appointed and they were elected through the ODM party and the fraternity of Asimiora Umoja. But it's like people have changed and have matured in terms of politics. That's what I'm thinking, and I think it's not going to be well, because I think, like, Wanga, she need to look at what Wanga she's doing, because when Wanga had that, she came up very fast, responded, and I think she said, because she had talked with the team in the county that which is supposed to appoint them, she's going to see the reverse of that.
Yeah.
If it was not in line with, then they will do a reversal. Yeah, you can take us to the next story. As
Our
we
last
go on.
story.
Yeah.
Famous Marsh Pride lion killed 5 tribal group in Mara. Big cat lovers in the world. Famous Masai Mara Game Reserve are mourning the death of a famous lion nicknamed Logol of the popular Marsh Pride. The lion is reported to have been mauled to death by rival pride males of Ngoyani Pride in territorial conflict. So the Marsh Pride male Logol was killed by the Ngoyoni males, who are said to be his half-brothers in the Cheli Pride's territory within the Mara North Conservancy. I've never mourned an animal.
But I normally see this why people, they mourn
The
the
white people
cats
do
and
so
dogs,
much, so
even
much.
in Kenya here.
They will take them
I
even
see-
to the
I see-
hospital.
I see our camera ready today. She's like, maybe we will hear from her on the back of later whether she can mourn an animal, either a cat or. But starting from you, do you have an animal that you love?
Actually, I love dogs.
Love dogs.
Very much. But when it comes to the security of my dogs,
Yeah.
I can do anything, in fact. But I can't compare the dogs with a human being. I can take care of a human being so well compared to a dog. But
To a dog,
the
yeah.
love I have for the dogs
It's high.
is high.
What about you, Regina?
I also love dogs. but not all dogs. I love those dogs which are clean. And
But you have to make them clean before, because when you love them, you have to make
there's
them
these old model German Shepherds which go around the streets. They go to weddings uninvited. They go to parties uninvited. They like removing their tongue like this. They're just ugly dogs. I don't like them. But I love dogs which are clean, and you should maintain animals. Animals are beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, like the story you have just read for us one morning.
Now, this big lion, according to the story, it was killed by the half brothers, and I think it's something to mourn because it was the pride of that national park, because it was one of the biggest. You know, when you have a male lion and it is the biggest and the oldest, then it has something. It has a value in that national park. So I think they have every right to mourn, but me, I cannot mourn.
What about Emmanuel? What can you say about that?
for me, I can't mourn. Actually, I can't mourn because those animals, they just live their lives.
But at least that feeling.
Okay, yeah, that's feeling because it's their leader. Maybe sometimes these animals behave like human beings. You can see that when you turn we shift to, like, for example, elephants. Elephants mourn when one of them is dead. They mourn. They even go for a service. They bury and even mourn. When it comes to lions, maybe they saw that this guy has led us for a very long time now. Enough is enough. Let's now take the charge of. Yeah. So for me, I can't mourn because that's their lives. That's how they live. They are made to live like that.
In fact, we had one of the cats. I remember in 2000, around 2000 there, it was one of the biggest cat actually. We have many people who used to tell us that, tell my mother that you should take this cat to the show. We used to, how do we used to call them? The showgrounds. Those days when we were in high schools and all, we arrange and we go to the showcases, and even here in Nairobi they normally do it at the showground. And when that, I think we can say cheaters or what, somebody I think stoned that cat to death. Of course, we felt it because it used to be one of the biggest cat. People used to come and see from far places how it used to move. It was friendly when you come. It will welcome you. There's a wicket do on your But all in all, we have come to an end of this Tuesday news making headlines and a news paper review. Yeah, and in the set I was with
Emmanuel Onyango. Follow me at Twitter and Instagram, @OT_Eno for more update. Communicate to me what you want us to talk about here at Romy TV Africa. Every day I'm here from Monday to Friday. Find me at Romy TV. Talk to us, communicate to us, to all our social media pages.
Also in the middle is
Regina Mwangi. Follow me, not us. Follow me at Regina Samuel, Instagram, Facebook, at Regina Samuel, Twitter. And
I myself, Dr.Robert. Also, you can go to our social media platforms from Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, IG, and TikTok. They call me the German of TikTok at Dr. Robert Osoro, at Dr. Love, at Romy TV Africa. Thank you for taking your time to be with us this morning, and join us in the next top of the hour in our gossip up. See you on the top of the hour. Stay tuned. Alright, welcome once again to Desmond Show on What Is Your Story with Dr. Robert. Also remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at Romy TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro.
So my brother, so you say that you had started this.
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
Yeah.